Imagine being on top of the college football world one moment and then watching your opponent celebrate a shocking victory on their home turf the next. That's exactly what happened to the Alabama Crimson Tide as they suffered a devastating 31-17 loss to Florida State. The scene was set. Florida State players dancing, waving white towels and singing along to Crank That Soulja Boy as the final minutes ticked away. Meanwhile, the Alabama team stood by, hands on hips, forced to witness the jubilation. But here's where it gets interesting. This wasn't just a one-time slip-up for the Crimson Tide. In fact, it's the fourth time in the past 11 months that they've had to endure a similar scene, with previous losses to Vanderbilt, Tennessee, and Oklahoma. The question on everyone's mind is, what's going on with Alabama? The team that was once the epitome of college football excellence is now struggling to find its footing. And this is the part most people miss. The Crimson Tide's problems run deeper than just a few bad games. They need to climb out of this hole, and fast, if they want to remain a contender for the college football playoff. So let's dive into the details of the game and see what went wrong. The Alabama team started strong, with a promising first drive that ended in a touchdown. However, things took a turn for the worse after that. The team's offense struggled to find consistency, and the defense was lackluster at times. One of the most striking stats from the game was that Alabama only had one carry of 10-plus yards, while Florida State had 7. They got us on a few reverses, said linebacker Deontay Lawson. That kind of shot us in the foot. Got a big play downfield. It just hurt us. The Crimson Tide's coach, Kalen DeBoer, echoed this sentiment, saying that the team needs to work on its consistency and explosiveness. We didn't have, I can think of, any explosives that we need to have, he said. It's hard to put drives together when you don't have chunk yardage plays. Now, you might be wondering what Alabama can do to turn things around. For starters, they need to work on their tackling and physicality. The team's defense was pushed around by Florida State, and it showed. They also need to improve their quarterback decision-making. Ty Simpson, the team's quarterback, showed flashes of brilliance, but he also looked unsure at times. As DeBoer put it, he's gotta just trust his reads and just cut it loose sometimes. Just let it fly. He can make the throws. But here's the thing. Alabama's problems aren't just limited to the players. The coaching staff also needs to take a hard look at their strategy and make some adjustments. DeBoer needs to figure out how to get his team ready to play on the road against opponents who are perceived to be lesser. The Wisconsin game in 2024 was the only time he's managed to keep his team on track in those scenarios. So, what's next for Alabama? The season is far from over, but the team needs to get to work if they want to remain a contender. They have 11 opportunities left to turn things around, and they need to make the most of them. As DeBoer said, can't cry in the corner. It's time for the Crimson Tide to pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and get back to work. But what do you think, folks? Can Alabama turn their season around, or are they doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to check out our other articles, including Ryan Williams' headlines list of 5 Alabama players who must do better, and Where Does Alabama Football Go From Here? For more analysis and insights.